Thank you so much, Tim Hobbs from Tambuzi in Kenya. We are super excited, actually, that you took the time right now to speak to us on our piece of the puzzle, yes, exclusive flowers. And I mean, a lot of the South African people know the farm Tambuzi in South Africa. But for those who do not know what is Tambuzi, what are you doing? Can you just please explain, like, what does Tambuzi stand for and what are you growing? And how is your history?
Sure, thanks. Sylvia, it's lovely to see you guys as well. Yeah, we're up here in Nanyuki in Kenya, just on the foothills of Mount Kenya. And we have been here since 1996. So we're 25 years old now as a farm. And we grow scented garden roses mainly. We also do some summer flower crops, and just recently we've converted some of the old summer flower crops into vegetable crops with the current predicament that we're all in and the current crisis. We thought food crops would be a good thing to branch out into. Yes. But as I say, we started the business in 1996. It's Tambuzi is Tim and Maggie, and it's our goat, we call it. So it's in Swahili, the word mbuzi is a goat. So it's Tim and Maggie's goat is the name of the farm. But it's something that we've been. Sorry, I've now got the dogs that decided to join in.
Great. That's
so
no problem at all.
These two don't want to be left out of discussing things. So sorry about the noise if you've got panting going on.
No problem.
Anyway.
Good.
On the background, I've got some sheep here as well that have decided to come and join in as well. So that's even.
That's amazing. You know, I think a lot of people are really like looking like at your surrounding and your farm like a blessing, actually, because a lot of people just couldn't go out the past week. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
But tell us a bit more also about the when you say like the roses, like what type of roses are you growing?
Okay, so we started the way we started was we have some very good friends in the UK who run the Real Flower Company, Matthew and Roseby Morton, and we were talking to them in England and said, look, we can grow flowers year round. They grew flowers seasonally for events in England. So the Real Flower Company we've been partners in that for over 20 years, and we said, well, look, we'll take some rose bushes out to Kenya of the garden rose types, and we'd start growing them. So we started doing that and sending them back to England. So it's been a business that's complemented theirs, as I say, since 1996. And we sort of grow. They grow in the summer season in England, and we grow year round. So our supply works with weddings and events all around the world. And since starting there in 1996, we have then expanded into other marketplaces. So now we supply sort of very specialist wedding and event roses, and that's how we encountered you guys at Yes Exclusive Flowers, which has been a fantastic fun journey as well. And I think what we notice about these flowers is they're not the commodity roses. They're not the sort of supermarket roses that are grown very widely. They are selected from garden varieties and garden rose breeders. So then we started a collaboration with David Austin Roses, and we're the only grower of David Austin Roses in Africa. And we started from starting with a few boxes a week and a small area under cultivation. We've now got about 10.5 hectares of roses under production, and we ship from Sydney across to Vancouver and everywhere in between. So at the moment, we have obviously got a very, very dramatically affected marketplace with lockdowns in different parts of the world. In fact, now Europe and America are in lockdown, but China and Southeast Asia are actually opening up and coming back quite strongly. So at the moment we're trading, having had basically a sort of close down in March. We're now back to trading at about 30-40% of our normal expected volumes. Which is better than it could be. Let's put it that way. It's very challenging times. The farm, as I say, is at 2,000 meters. We've actually got 3 production sites. We've got where I am at the moment, which is Bergeret Farm, is at 2,000 meters. And then we have a higher farm at 2,200 meters called Tarako. And then a top farm at up above Timau called Pendekesa. And we grow 4.5 hectares up in Timau on the top farm. And we grow 6.5 hectares down here, giving us just over 10.5 hectares in total of rose production. And we're always changing. We've got I'll take you into the trial area in a minute, but we're always pulling things out and pulling things out and planting new varieties. So we've always got a little bit with 11 hectares of greenhouses. We've always got a little bit not actually planted at any one time, and looking for new varieties to keep our customers happy and keep with trends. Color trends change, and we find more and more that it's to do with looking for flowers with a unique shape. We love them if they're scented, although it's quite hard. Scented it makes it quite sensitive, but where people like yourselves, where you know how to use the flowers, you understand that they're going to be they're not going to last as long as maybe some of the other roses, but they'll be very beautiful while they're in the event and while they're in your house. They're very beautiful. And if they can last a week, then that's a pretty good result. We think it's not about how long they last; it's how beautiful they are while they're with you.
That's amazing. And also we had like a chat a little while ago where you said it's very important for you also to get an understanding from your clients, like how flowers travel, how they actually perform, and you take this in consideration by deciding what sorts of flowers you will grow, and maybe what sorts you will maybe not grow in a bigger number anymore. So tell us a little bit also about what new varieties like you have and why you have chosen for those.
Yeah, so it's, as you say, so it's a great process. It takes, I would say, from a rose coming onto the farm, we will start with 48 plants as a trial. And if that works, then we start doing a commercial trial, which is about 380 plants. And there's lots of things. It's how it grows, how it shelf life is, how it transports, but most importantly, it's the customer feedback. So we grow roses. We're always optimists. We desperately try and grow the most beautiful roses, but sometimes even those beautiful roses are so sensitive that they can't travel very well. So we have that process is an ongoing process, and we work very closely with all our partners. So we have quite a unique way of marketing our roses. We tend to form partnerships with people for sort of regional representation. So in Holland we have a partner company called Perfume Flower Company, where we supply for Europe. We supply Perfume Flower Company, and then they supply on into their customers. And in Dubai we have Rose Hip and Bloom, so for the Middle East and Dubai we supply them. And then in the United States we have Fabulous Flowers USA, and down in South Africa you guys do a great job of representing our roses down there. And I know that lots of South African florists have been receiving Tambuzi roses over the last few years with a collaboration with Yes Exclusive Flowers, haven't they?
Thank you so much. And I think the most of the clients are very, very happy. And when we started providing your flowers, they said, or one florist said, and I think the most of them agree, they got back the fun for the floristry and the joy, because experiencing these flowers, having a scent and the beautiful opening and the shapes that they have, that is a totally different world of roses.
Yeah. And I think what we can always say, Tambuzis in terms of flower varieties is our first love.
Yes.
So,
and even the packing, some of the people, they gave us the information. It is like opening a Christmas box.
Yes. And I think this is the key, right? I mean, packaging is like the product itself is like the key to success for distributing like garden roses particularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, at the moment we know the world's upside down, but we know that roses and flowers aren't essential for life, but they certainly make it a brighter place. If you've got flowers in your house and you've got flowers at an event, it's the joy of life. It's all about passion and love. And I think that one of the things that we try and do is try and a lot of it's quite difficult because a lot of the commercial side will tell you to avoid risk, and our flowers are very risky because they're very, very much more delicate than other people's roses, but if we didn't love them and we weren't passionate about them, we wouldn't carry on with it. And we know where they can work, and we try and work as closely as possible. A lot of it comes down to logistics and packaging, as you say, Elfie. I think there's a lot that we've learned over the last 25 years, and that's what we try and bring to our customers now, and to make sure that we have the right flowers for the right places, and they get there in the right condition. And also, I think one thing that's very important for us at Tambuzi is we've always operated at the highest sort of social and environmental standards. So we're Kenya Flower Council Gold Standard, which there's only 5 farms in Kenya that have managed to achieve that standard, and we were one of the first.
Well done.
Thank you. And we operate at we operate fair trade certification on our social standards. So again, we like to know that people can be assured that socially and environmentally we're operating at the highest standards. We're the first flower farm in the world this year. Earlier in the year, in January, we got accredited as carbon neutral by the UN One World Carbon Fund, and so we've been audited, and we've actually, it's one of those things of reducing, replacing, and offsetting. So we can't operate our flowers. We can't genuinely operate with all the freight that we have to do. We have to accept and acknowledge and own up to that, and actually work with people like the One World to actually to do something meaningful as an offset. And we're looking at over this coming year of looking at how we could bring that closer to Kenyan environmental projects. So we're going to be encouraging other flower farmers to do the same. But we're very proud that we're the first flower farm in the world to actually be able to say that we are carbon neutral in our operations, and we measure that every year now. And we have a commitment and an obligation, I think, for our children and their that generation to act responsibly. So we look at wherever we can. We look at carbon sequestering. We're using biochar in our production. We're using a lot of organic mulches. We're looking after our soils and increasing the carbon content of our soils. So we're pretty passionate about the fact that farming often gets a bit of a bad rap about being the cause of environmental problems. But I think that farmers can actually be the solution for environmental problems. And I think that we see ourselves as taking our responsibility and looking at how we can be proactive in that field. So we can't say that we have a zero impact in our operations. But what we can do is say we're prepared to own up to that and offset it and pay into a fund that can make sure that carbon is replaced in one of the projects I know that they're involved in is in the Amazon. Another one is in Uganda. But as I say, we want to get some projects accredited closer to home so that we can also be very proud of our Kenyan heritage and look at that. And so people, when they buy our flowers, they know that they are actually not having a negative impact overall. And we're taking responsibility for that and giving them a reassurance that that is something we're going to own up to and be very proud of as we go from a situation of not really being aware of the impact to being very aware and offsetting it.
Can I ask you a question? Like when you say this, how you transport this message? Is there maybe a sticker on your flower sleeves that you make people aware of your achievement, or is this maybe
just on the website,
or how do you inform?
No, it was on the web. Yes, it is on the web. It's one of those things we had planned. The UN body they've been planning a big launch in March, but unfortunately that got overtaken by the COVID crisis. So we were going to be, we are planning still, even though it's going to be a virtual conference, the COP26. We've been invited to join the COP26 in Glasgow for and speak of our own story on it. And I think that it's one of those things where because it just happened January, February. Was when actually the final certification came through and everything was finalized. It's one of those things that sort of it's been slightly overtaken by events, but we're going to still be committed to that, because even though right now we're going to have to build back up our regular business, it's something we're going to be very committed to as we go forward, because I think it's just got to become part and parcel of every day. And everyday decisions is how do we make decisions that have a positive impact on the world and on the environment. So that's what we're really looking to do. So we'll be telling more and more about it on our social media and through our partners. I think one other thing to mention that has just also been launched is Parfum Flower Company in Holland have started a business called Zero Waste. So any flowers that we had sent and had been, because they've got to have stock and there's some wastage at the end of the week, what we've been doing is sending that off to drying and actually selling dried garden roses as well. And that's a project that Wouter de Vries and Wouter and Tom and Lara in Parfum Flower Company.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
nice, it's not only an innovative idea, I think it's also such a, sustainable idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people these days, in any case, use a lot of dried flowers, you know. It's a trend also that a lot of people are incorporating in their entire flower design.
Yes.
So I think it's great that this is like an additional option. And it's also showing
the appreciation of those people that grow flowers, because wasting flowers, and I mean, we all have seen the devastating pictures, like when COVID started, where all the flowers have been thrown away in Holland, and we've got so much so many comments that people are like in shock to see how you can throw away flowers, you know, and it still happens every single day on a lot of farms around the world, because our farms, the demand is not as high as the production. And I think that's why I was talking this morning to Parfum Flower to get more information out of that, and maybe also to get them on our chat to get more to promote this idea more, because I think it's a wonderful idea. But there was another question that we just had from Cookie. He said, are the current low temperatures affecting your production?
No, temperature at the moment, I mean, Murphy's Law's out there, Sylvia. At the moment, the conditions are absolutely beautiful. We've got quite a bit of rain around in Kenya, which is causing a little bit of problems on, when you get heavy rainfall, you can get botrytis. So we have to do a bit of spray, and then we have to do a post-harvest dip to avoid that botrytis causing a problem. But the temperatures, actually, it's been glorious growing conditions for the last 2 months. In fact, I was just joking with our management team this morning, saying it's amazing because we've had to go to everybody's on a half day now because of low orders. I said, I think the flowers are actually quite enjoying having a bit of time off as well. They're sort of rejuvenating and replenishing.
Yes. So we also said a couple of times, beside all of the bad effects that COVID has, it also has its positive sides or positive outcomes on family life, on very different things. Like we see like dolphins coming closer to the shore because there's no fishing trawlers and no like these big cruise ships and things like that. A lot of nature is recovering from that little break.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you see all these pictures of the smog around cities going. It's amazing the views that you see now. The air is very clean. So yeah, it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson to us all. It's just, it's obviously here we have, you know, we in Kenya we're having a very interesting thing, Sylvia. We've got because the government has been very, very proactive in terms of the lockdown. So we don't actually, we've got less than 500 cases in the whole country. I think there's something like less than 20 people have died from it, but we've got a massively impactful economic effect, which is, you know, in Kenya, it's a developing country, and people are often earning very low salaries, and there's people who don't have jobs. So we are very concerned, and we're working a lot with the community around us to help mitigate the effects of the economic effects of this of the economy shutting down, because you know, a lot of flower farms, that's hundreds of thousands of people's jobs, and you know, every business has got to try and keep itself afloat. You know, in Europe, Europe and the developed world, I think you've got governments where they're giving a lot of this, they're sort of paying employees costs and things. Here the government, as I say, has been very proactive in terms of trying to help with the health risk, and they've also tried to give us some help with reduce the tax rate. But you know, Sylvia, these times it's cash that is the problem, and trying to keep everybody's businesses going is very, very difficult. So everybody's having to cut costs where they can. We're trying to keep, as I say, we've gone, rather than some people going and other people staying, we've everybody across the whole company has gone down to half pay and half day. So we're trying to keep it, and people are using up their annual leave. And if things carry on, you know, into June, then we're going to have to look at how we can get people away on rotation. But we're going to try and make sure that everybody, even if it has to go below half pay, it goes down in a fair and transparent way, because we're all affected by this, and we all you know, we're all praying for recovery on it. But you know, it's a really difficult thing with our, you know, our guys at you know, in the greenhouse are you know, now half pay is hard, and that's, we've got to push and stretch people's budgets to keep people. So we had a very nice bit of support from Waitrose in the UK. The Waitrose Foundation donated £15,000 worth of cash to helping our staff with food for them and their community and their families. So we were very grateful to Waitrose Foundation for that. But this is where it comes back to long-term relationships and long-term partnerships. That's how we're all going to get through this. Is we stick together, and we work together, and we try and as the market returns, we try and bring a bit of joy back into the world with flowers. So
I think this is also, I mean, I think it's 2 points. The one thing is, this is why we call the series that we're doing now Piece of the Puzzle, because we are all part of a bigger picture, and we all need to rely on the relationships that we have nurtured over the past years that we are in business to actually overcome this difficult situation. And I think everyone in their own right is doing this right now. And on the other hand, I think one of the hardest decisions as an entrepreneur right now is to really consider your staff also, and to say, like, how can I keep everyone really still on the payroll and not make anyone redundant? Because obviously this is not what anyone wants, but it is a very hard decision for a lot of people. I mean, not only in the flower industry, but across really different industries. So I'm very happy to hear that you could.
No, we've had exactly that, Elfie. We've had, I mean, Kenya's three biggest industries are the diaspora. Kenyans sending money back from when they're overseas is a big foreign exchange earner. Then we've got tourism, which has been absolutely flattened, and horticulture and floriculture, and that's you know, that's been severely affected. So it is very hard. But as you say, I think everybody around the world, this is where we've got to look at how we can keep as many people in jobs as we can for as long as we can. And I have to say, all of our suppliers have been amazing in terms of supporting, and our banks. We keep pushing our banks to help us out with a bit of liquidity, because it's just keeping the cycle going.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
right.
exactly. And I see you moving, and I know that you are already going towards the greenhouses, and
Yeah, if you
because
can,
this
Yes,
is
you want
where
to see some flowers?
everyone really is looking
yeah,
forward to
yeah,
now to see like your beautiful roses. And yeah, if you can just maybe take us with you and explain a little bit
Sure.
where you are and where you're going to take us.
Sure. So I'm just going to, we have a trial area, which is where all our new, I'll try and, hold on, I'm not very good at this. Let me try and do this. So
You
now
can flip
you
the
can
we
just
have,
yeah,
there you go.
perfect.
So,
Oh my God, yes,
so
yeah, we
these are the
see.
trial areas. So we have different breeders. So this is an interplant rose. This is one of the new hashtag series, which are looking
Yes,
these
Okay.
amazing. It's an amazing new series of roses with quite a unique sort of shape of flower, a ruffled feather.
yes.
And we take so this is where we do all of our selections. We come in, we see a look at that. That's a absolutely stunning new
Oh,
purple rose.
wow.
That's one of our
Wow.
main varieties. So we see what we've got here. This is an old favorite which we're trying again. This is Mimi Eden, which we love, and we try every few years. We say maybe we'll try again with Mimi Eden, and that's another male.
Oh,
But
wonderful.
this is where what we do here is we select. This is, by the way, this is a bit of fun that I saw when I was in France last year. This is a little shrub rose. Can you see this?
Yeah,
Tiny
can
little
you
flowers.
get a bit closer? Can you
just
put the
put
phone
the
a
phone
bit
a little
closer?
bit closer? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, how cute. Yes.
Yeah,
These
I
little,
saw this on a
tiny
picture.
little. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little.
Yes,
It's.
we see
I'm not
that.
sure how it'll work, but it's. We're trying it, and then.
But it's a
So
very
we've got
nice
here.
texture, actually. It gives a very nice texture.
Mm.
Yeah. So here's
Oh,
a
my
lovely,
goodness.
beautiful
Beautiful.
rose. It's one of the new numbers from Duman. We've got some rose. Yes. So this is where we do all of our selections. Again,
Okay.
gosh, this is really interesting. When you see roses that have not been picked for a week or 2 weeks,
Oh,
Oh, my.
you can really see some beautiful new colors and
Yes.
shapes. Well, this
wonderful.
is a absolutely stunning new white rose that we're trying,
Wow.
and it gets a.
This
I mean, at the moment, yeah, it's been through the rigors of this, but here's one actually that's about to go commercial. You'll like this, Sylvia. It's called Montmartre.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a new
Yes.
variety. So we're going to be growing that. But you can see here we've got in the greenhouse, we've got about 200, 250 varieties of roses that we try at any time.
Wow. And how long
And-
it takes from the trial to the production? Like when you can sell it, how long does it take?
Well, I think that realistically, it's a minimum of about. Hold on. It's a minimum of a year, but often
Okay.
it takes a little bit longer. And I'll show you some. of the new commercials. Here
Yes.
is a new rose that we are growing called Japanese Tail. Can you see that?
Yes, I want.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow. Oh, amazing. It's
that's
so
a new-
beautiful.
That's a new. It has this habit. It grows. The outer petals open out. And it's called Japanese Tail. It's absolutely lovely, actually. And this is the
Yes.
first flush of this whole bed. I don't know if you
It
can
looks
see
like
that
a
whole bed
two-tone,
there.
right?
Mm.
Yes, it's sort of pink and white in the middle, but it's a
Wonderful.
sort of pink bicolor.
Mhm.
And what else we got in here? But so this is where we got a new variety called Peach Romantica coming through here, which we've had on another farm. We're trying it down here, and
Yes.
then we're doing So Mimi Eden. That's where then we got a little little thing called Sunset Folly.
Oh, wow. This color.
Yeah.
Orange is
Amazing.
anything.
Yeah.
So
And it
It's
matches your
so we-
shirt.
Autumn color, like a beautiful autumn color.
yeah, well, mostly, our roses are mostly pastel colors, but
Yes, exactly.
we also get a range. We get asked if we've got some stronger colors.
Yes.
It's a very, very beautiful white spray called Snow Ballet, which I know you
Snow
order.
Ballet, yes.
Snow Ballet,
We
absolutely
had
beautiful.
a lot of orders
So-
of this one. Yeah.
For the
Yes.
wedding market, I mean, still, I think generally for the wedding market, like softer colors will still be like trend for
but
a long time.
Yeah, but there's also like a trend going like out of the pastel colors,
Yeah.
going stronger, like having more funny colors also.
Look at this. Yeah, there is. Look at this dog. Madness. Anyway, this is a bay of Patience, a lovely David Austin rose. And you know, as I say, we have the full range of David Austins. Look at that production in there at the moment. If only we could have
Okay.
1,000 weddings.
Huge.
Wow.
Yes. Oh,
Enormous.
this is just such a wonderful sight.
Yes.
And here's another favorite that we're this is called porcelain lace.
Okay,
porcelain
from the
lace.
lace. Okay. Mhm.
Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Beautiful.
Fantastic.
And so many,
Well, so that
like so many buds on one stem. I mean, there's mostly 5 to 7 buds on the stem, right?
yeah. Sometimes the difficulty is actually getting it in the box and packing it. So that here, let me show you this one. This is one that I can't sure if you can see that color.
Oh,
wow. What is it called?
Okay, so this is from NERP. It's called NJ19. It hasn't even got a name yet.
I need to remember
So this is
that.
something-
NG19.
Wow.
Is it scented?
Wow.
Oh.
It smells absolutely unbelievable. So
And it just brings
it's a
so
real
much joy just looking at it. Color is just
Look
such
at
a
this.
burst of
Elsie.
color.
This is how tall it is.
Wow. That means it's 2.5 meter high.
Wow. Amazing.
Exactly. So anyway, we won't give up, even though it doesn't want to. It seems to want to flower very tall. We won't give up on it. This is.
No.
Oh my God, that's absolutely beautiful. That's
Oh, that
that's
is
another
amazing.
male.
That looks so
And
elegant.
that
Yes.
smells absolutely unbelievable. So that's a lot of the we as I say we try and select for shape and color, unusual colors and scent. Now our favorites are our scented roses. That's so we always like a rose to have a good scent if we can. It's beautiful.
Because
It's
this
got a
is
beautiful.
also what keeps memories for events. We say every event should have a scent memory.
Yes. Can you see that? That's quite an unusual color.
Now
Oh,
go
yeah,
a bit closer. Go a bit closer.
Inside it's yellow and then pink, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like ruffled, right?
Yes. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's unusual, really. Yeah.
Very unusual. So, yeah, we keep looking at these different. There's a whole range in here. Anyway, it's fun. So this is where we come. If we've had a bad week, this is where we come for a refresh. Look at that.
Oh
You see that?
yes. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. No, it's really. Thank you so much, Tim. I mean, really, I think you made a lot of our viewers' day,
Yeah.
including us.
Yes.
That you took us like through.
We haven't seen flowers like for weeks.
Yes,
So-
so it's beautiful. So thank you so
Well,
much
this
for
is-
taking us around. Oh.
Wow. That's a very unusual color. This is
But
where.
look at the size. I mean, when I see your hand is almost smaller than the rose.
Yeah, it's amazing. Actually, it's amazing. It's great to get into here. I try and get in here once or twice a week, at least once, and we come along and select because everything's open at different stages, and you need sometimes they can't smell it in the morning, and then you smell it in the afternoon. So it's a great fun. It's a great. That's one of the best bits of the job. Let me show you one other while I've got you here. Here's a couple.
Yes, please.
That's quite an unusual.
Oh.
This is like a peachy color, isn't it?
It's a peachy salmon. Very. I don't know if you can see. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It matches your shirt.
Yeah.
So this is this is one which I've been looking at from Mayon. If I can pick it off. That.
Wow. And also
that is a sister.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a sister of Yves Piaget. And you know, Yves Piaget has that amazing scent.
Yes,
So it's a sister of Yves Piaget.
Okay.
Tim, can I ask you a question? With maybe not selling roses right now, but having all these beautiful roses, are you also maybe thinking to maybe make like perfume or make petals or things like that, like side products of the roses?
Yeah, we have. We've actually been doing quite an interesting experiment in the pack house. Sorry, I'm just shutting that up so that they can crack on in there. What we've been doing, Sylvia, is we've been making our own hydrosol. So we've got a really nice mix of roses, so some of the most scented varieties, and we have been distilling them and making a rose water. So you know, for rose oil, you need that Rosa Damascena, which is so we can't grow roses just for rose oil or rose water. But we've been growing. We've been distilling while we've had spare roses. We've been making our own hydrosol, and it smells absolutely fantastic. So it's something we look forward to adding to the range again of zero waste. That sort of concept of zero waste.
Yes.
Is anything we can do to make the farm?
Yeah, I would be interested on that, Tim. I would be really interested on
Just
it.
to even smell it only in the home, but just all the time, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As a travel good.
So thank you so much.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, listen,
well.
and how are you guys? Just a quick one. How are you guys doing down there? Are you keeping your spirits up in South Africa?
Well, we are keeping the spirits up, and we are trying to keep the spirits up for the industry, that there will be lots of roses very soon for everyone to enjoy, because, I mean, it's our passion, the same as yours, is just to bring really like love through roses and flowers to people's home and to make them just remember beautiful events. But obviously, because a lot of florists this side are event florists, we are very uncertain when events are actually going to be allowed again. We are in stage 4 of 5 of lockdown in South Africa.
Yeah.
So, and stage 4 took about 6 weeks. So we are now in stage 4. As I said, this is the first week right now that we are in, and we do not know for how long it will take. So everything is still very uncertain, unfortunately.
But maybe we can hope that there will, because there's not a lot of events coming up, there will be maybe more flower shops or flower deliveries be considered by some of the florists. So we really hope that this will maybe bring up another flower culture in our industry.
Right, yes.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Tambuzi is going to be here. We're going to be growing our beautiful scented roses. And
we
we
will
hope
be
that,
here for you at any time, Tim. Like whenever we can start again supporting you, we will do this with pleasure. And we really love you, your farm, your team. We've been like through our history is very close to your farm, because we started actually our own flower history with your farm. So we feel a very strong connection to you and your farm.
That's why I said it feels like love at first sight in terms of flowers. So it's Tambuzi, and the flowers and the roses will always be like one of our favorites. So thank you so much.
Yes, and
fantastic.
whenever
there's a lovely new variety to look forward to.
Yes.
And finally, I want to say, whenever we all be able to travel again, we have a big plan. We have another flower safari. Last year, we have done one to your farm, and we would like to invite everyone that loves flowers to come and join us and to come to your farm for a flower safari. We will keep people updated whenever travel is allowed again. we will make a plan, but we will definitely come.
Yes.
Fantastic. We'll have a lovely dinner in the greenhouse again, Sylvia.
That's
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you with all our hearts from South Africa. Keep well, keep safe, and thank you for your time, Tim.
Thank you.
And regards to your
Lots
team.
of love to you guys. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.